Okay, I can't lie to you. This outfit is just 1000% clickbait. I love the holidays, but I'm not gonna wear this. Sorry if that's disappointing. That's better. The holidays are here, and no matter what your family traditions are or how you spend this time of year, it's always fun to give gifts, right? Right. Unless your finances are tight, or you're not a good gift giver, or your finances are tight and you're not a good gift giver, then giving gifts is kinda... So today we're gonna brainstorm our way through kind of two questions kind of at the same time. The first being, if you're looking to save these holidays, how can you be kind to your budget and still give gifts to the ones you love? Or for those of you who just want to keep the holidays a little more simplistic or minimal, how can you still give gifts without acquiring a bunch of new possessions? Or forcing anyone else to acquire a bunch of new possessions? So before we explore the answers to those questions, I have to give credit where credit is due because I had to do a lot of research to pull this video together, and I came across a ton of bloggers and vloggers that really have this whole affordable, thoughtful holiday thing nailed down. So just to name a few, I gathered phenomenal ideas from YouTuber The Minimal Mom, Lindsay Butler of the One Beautiful Home blog, and the Penny Hoarder, and I am simply relaying their wisdom to you. So that being said, I will totally link all their blogs and videos down below, along with any other websites that I felt like were handy in this process. And if you want to do them a favor and check out their channels or their websites, absolutely do that. I've also timestamped this video so that if you hover your cursor over the progress bar down here, you can see what sections are where in the video and skip wherever you want. So if you don't have kids or you don't have a partner, skip it. Go to the sections that apply to you. The holidays are some of the most special and exciting times of the year, and Lindsay Butler of the One Beautiful Home blog has a slew of awesome tips about how to make the holidays magical without an abundance of gifts. If you have a fam bam of kiddos, perk up because this next section is for you. Idea number 1. Leading up to the holidays, you're gonna gather and wrap a ton of holiday-themed books, enough to take you from December 1st to the day of your holiday. And every single night before bed, the kids get to pick, open, and read a holiday book. Talk about a blast. It's a surprise every single night. They get to open a present every day, and who says you can't wrap a library book? Or maybe throughout the year, you keep an eye out at garage sales or secondhand stores to find holiday books, and at the end of the holiday season, you donate them all back. Next, invest thought into the presentation of the holiday, because half the magic is in the senses. Does it look like Hanukkah? Does it smell like Christmas? Does it taste like Kwanzaa? Find ways to make your home scream, today is special and we are gonna celebrate, before there are even gifts on the table. Lindsay also recommends a cheap holiday breakfast is spraying some holiday-themed cookie cutters with olive oil and pouring some pancake batter in there. Part of what makes the holidays so special is that they rarely happen, and how often are you having holiday-themed pancakes? They don't have to be the best pancakes in the world, they just have to be in the shape of a tree. Third tip, when you are giving gifts, wrap everything. And I mean everything. If you buy a 3-pack of Hot Wheels or a 3-pack of chapstick, open the packaging and wrap them all separately. As a kid, I would totally rather open 10 tiny gifts than one big one. It doesn't really matter if I'm opening 3 gifts that are all the same. It's the fact that today I get to open gifts and I never get to do that. Next tip, make the gift opening experience last that much longer by taking turns and watching as everyone opens each individual present. And that might sound like a lot, but it's a total blast because you get to see everyone's reaction to each of their gifts, and our Christmas morning went from 7 a.m. to like 3 p.m. Also, let your kids play with their presents before having them open the next one. It preserves the magic of the holiday a little bit, and if you were a kid, wouldn't you want to play with a new toy you just got before being told to do something else? Anytime I get a new bottle of mascara, I just want to rip that open and put it on in the middle of the night. Plus, it gives the adults a little break, which is always nice. And the most important thing of all is just your presence, your attention, and your care. I think the main reason we all love the holidays is because it's finally a time where everything stops and we just get to be with each other. So plan a little movie afternoon or a game night. If you live in a snowy area, go sledding. Maybe you make a holiday dinner together, and maybe it's not fancy because the 4-year-old's helping, but they won't care as long as they get to help. Another super fun idea that I got from the Penny Hoarder is to create a family trivia game. 2 points if you can name Tucker's favorite color. What was Lauren's science fair project in the 3rd grade? Your dad had a dog when he was a kid. What was its name? I think it could be super fun, just the right touch of competitiveness, and it's free. And now it's finally time to actually dive into gift ideas. So thanks if you're still here. Thanks for not giving up on me. But today I'd like to give you some more outside of the box gift ideas to really just get your brain rolling on how you can totally crush the holidays this year. Like a positive crushing, not like a squashing. First up, we have kids. If you're wanting to give gifts more minimally this year, there are 2 different mentalities I've heard on how to get gifts for your kids. The first is head, hands, and heart. Head is getting something for their mind, like a book or a puzzle. Hands is getting them something to make or do. Think maybe like craft supplies or model airplanes. And heart is something they would love. So if they've been begging for that little backpack with their favorite Paw Patrol character on it, or your teenager has been dying for some cordless earbuds, whatever it is, something they love. The second mentality I've heard is more like a poem. Get your kids something they want, something they need, something to wear, and something to read. It's a perfect mix of practical and filling wants that they have. The next idea I snagged from the Minimal Mom, and I love it. It's called the Year of Dates. This idea can totally also be used with the spouse or partner. What you do is just go to the dollar store and buy a calendar for each of your kids. Then on one day every month, you write in a special activity that you're gonna do with that kid. So some ideas for that are maybe one month you go get ice cream together, or the next you have a night at the movie theater, just you two. Maybe you have a picnic and they're allowed to bring 2 friends with them. You can either pre-assign the date just to make sure that it happens, or if you have a busy, hectic lifestyle and you don't feel like you can reserve a date in September, in December, then maybe just write that activity at the top of the month and they get to choose what day that activity happens. It can be as affordable as you want. Nothing needs to be something that costs money, and it gives your kid something to look forward to, memories, and an experience. This next idea is totally cheap and super fun. Make your own family Mad Libs. Write down some stories that have actually happened to your family. Maybe the time your oldest got lost in the department store, or the time you went camping and your husband lost his shoes to a raccoon. Then go back through the story and take out all the adjectives, the verbs, the locations, the people, the numbers. Replace it with a blank line, and underneath write the type of word that should go there. Then make some hot chocolate, all sit around the living room and make goofy new versions of some of your favorite stories. Okay, this idea is really fun, especially if you're celebrating a holiday like Hanukkah or Kwanzaa that goes over the course of a long time. If you are giving a gift that is an experience for later, such as, hey, we're taking a trip to fill in the blank, or hey, in 4 weeks we're bringing home a new puppy, go to the store and get a poster board. Then write whatever message or thing you want to convey on the poster board, decorate it, make it all cute. Then flip it over to the blank side, trace some puzzle piece shapes on it, and cut them all out. Next, grab some stamps and a stack of envelopes, and for each envelope, put in 4 puzzle pieces. Put 1 envelope in the mail every day. And first, your kids are gonna get an envelope that they don't know what to do with it. A bunch of random puzzle pieces, what is this? The next day they'll get 4 more, the next day 4 more, and slowly as they put that puzzle piece together over time, they'll see the message come into view. So make sure to pick your puzzle pieces strategically so that you're not giving the message away too soon. This next idea is also from the Minimal Mom, and it is a fun way to take an everyday activity, expand upon it, and turn it into a gift. If that didn't make any sense, let me just explain. She wanted to make a cake with her daughter. First, she went and bought a bundt cake pan. Then inside that pan, she put a cake mix, some frosting, some sprinkles, whatever else goes on a cake. and then gifted her daughter a cake making set. So not only are you taking kind of not an everyday activity because you don't make cake every day, but you're taking a normal thing and turning it into a really fun gift, but also it's an experience now that you can do together with your kid. You can also do this with a bucket of craft supplies. Maybe gift them all the supplies to make their own slime. Kids are really into that. And if it's like a cake, you consume it so you don't have to find anywhere to store it. If you have adult children, maybe consider writing down some of their favorite tried and true recipes of yours on some recipe cards and give them the power to create some of their favorite comfort foods. Okay, moving on to your spouse or partner. One idea I saw that I loved from marieclaire.com is to create a tell me book. What is a tell me book? I'll tell you. Get yourself a blank journal and at the top of every page, write something that you want your spouse or your partner to tell you. Some examples could be, tell me about your childhood best friend. Tell me how you became so passionate about your favorite hobby. Tell me who you want to be when you're 80 years old. Not only is it a super sweet gift of self-reflection for the person you're giving it to, but also you guys can read it together once they're done. We don't always realize what we don't know about each other until we ask. And this is a great way to ask. Second idea, know their favorites and get them all their favorites. Favorite candy bar, favorite drink, favorite bag of coffee, favorite kind of socks. They can all be little things that don't have to cost a lot, but it's the overarching message that says something. I know you and I know what you love and I want to give you everything that you love, even if it's like an 89-cent candy bar. Also, another sweet, free, sentimental idea is a memory jar. Write down as many memories as you can think of, big to little, cut them up, stick them in a jar, so that when your spouse or your partner is missing you or you're going through hard times or they just need a pick-me-up, they can pull out a memory from you and just be reassured of your love for them and your relationship. It's free and I'm pretty sure it gets you a lot of points, so would recommend. My next idea is to frame a sentimental photo. And I don't really mean a photo you took on your iPhone last week, but rather approach your in-laws and see if they can help you get your hands on some old photos of your spouse or partner from their childhood. Photos of them with their siblings, their favorite pet growing up, a photo of them in front of their old home or a photo with their parents. Then do the same for yourself. Go snag a couple old photos of your childhood in front of your old house with your old family pet so that you have this really neat and unique arrangement of your childhoods, and gather up a collection of vintage frames or weathered frames. What I did was go to Goodwill and find a bunch of functional frames in different sizes and shapes that I liked, spray painted them all the same color, and now I have this really uniform but also whimsical photo gallery in my stairwell. I love it, it's one of my favorite parts of my home, and if you add some meaning and sentiment to it, it could be an amazing gift that doesn't have to cost you a lot of money. Next, let's talk about the parents and the grandparents. My number one favorite idea that I have as a gift for grandparents if they have a lot of grandkids is modern art from your kids. First thing you want to do is observe the theme or color palette in your parents' home, because you never want to give art that no one wants to hang because it doesn't match what they already have going on in their house. Then go buy paints in colors that match their pre-existing theme. Go buy a few paintbrushes that are all unique, maybe a foam or sponge brush, then another kind of brush. Then you're going to get 3 thick squares of paper and 3 black and white square frames that the paper fits into, ideally with that white matte. Then you're gonna give each kid 1 paintbrush and 1 paint color. And the instruction for each kid, no matter their age, is to add 1 brush stroke or 1 shape to each piece of paper. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it won't be perfect. But here are a few things I know about design. Symmetry is very beautiful, and also the rule of 3. So if you have 3 perfectly square black and white uniform picture frames, and the colors within those frames are uniform, then the art on the inside can be absolutely whatever, and it's still gonna look really good and really classy. Next idea also involves a frame, and this one can be serious or it can be goofy. If you want to go the serious route, pick a quote that means a lot to your parents or grandparents, find an intentional way to design it, whether that's through typography or handwritten, and stick it in a classy frame that matches the decor they already have in their house. Take your time with it, do it well. The other way you can approach this is a more goofy, playful kind of way. I've done this. You take a quote from your kids, something that makes no sense, and beautifully design it and stick it in this really sophisticated frame, but it's this hilarious quote that means nothing to anyone that's not in your family. But it's funny to you guys. I did this a few years ago with magnets and quotes for my nephews. Everyone in the family got 2 magnets that had these ridiculous quotes for my nephews that make absolutely no sense unless you were there. And we all have them on our fridges, and it's so fun and such a good conversation starter when people come over and they're like, what does that mean? And they'll never fully understand, but. Another thing you can frame, because I guess my only parent and grandparent ideas are frames, create a family tree. You can either start with your parents and trickle down to all their grandchildren, or if you do have a pretty good grasp on your family history, go big. For example, my family has lived in the town I live in for 6 generations. Talk about creative, thoughtful, and sentimental. Another really fun idea for parents or grandparents, but really this could be for any spouse or partner, is giving the gift of nostalgia. Do a little sleuthing and find out what their favorite things were as a kid. What record or album did they always listen to? Did they have a favorite candy or snack or drink? Can you maybe include an old photo of them from their childhood? Think of anything you can to create this sense of just a warm flashback to their childhood. Times likely look a lot different now than it did for them as a kid. So how can we help them create that nostalgia? And lastly, I'll shoot off some ideas for non-family members, just for anyone. First, I want to validate the gift card people. If you like the idea of giving an experience over a physical item that people now have to figure out where to put it in their house, gift cards are a totally okay thing to do, and it can be so much more than a gift card to a retail store or a restaurant. Consider this. Give a gift card for a manicure or pedicure, Audible or Xbox. Give a gift card to a coffee shop, the movie theater, the bowling alley, ice skating, and even mini golf. In a similar vein as gift cards, don't forget that you can give people subscriptions and memberships as well. Think about giving a zoo membership or pool passes. For kids, look into a Kiwi Crate subscription. Or if you have a college student, you can purchase just 1 month of a meal subscription service, and not only will that teach them to cook, but hopefully it will keep them from eating out just a little bit that month. And I know some of you are thinking, Hannah, this is not a cheap gift at all. And you're not necessarily wrong, but this is for the person that would rather gift an experience than another physical possession. Other ideas is just giving them a really good bag of coffee. A really amazing idea I saw from the penny hoarder for anyone in your life, like a neighbor or a teacher, is to just make a massive batch of frozen breakfast burritos. Because who's gonna complain about a quick and easy breakfast? It's homemade, it's good for you. Speaking of things being good for you, don't underestimate the power of a really unhealthy plate of home-baked cookies. And lastly, another awesome idea from the penny hoarder is if you are in a last-minute pinch and you need a gift right now, grab that unopened bottle of wine that you bought for yourself and use it as a last-minute gift. Quality gift, no time. And you already spent the money, so it doesn't really feel like it costs a lot. And those are all the ideas I have. I will link all of the helpful links I found down below, so please check them out if you need some inspiration, or you didn't vibe with any of my ideas, which is totally fine. I understand that, we're all our own people. But no matter what gifts you give this holiday season, just always remember it's not about the gifts. Every once in a while, pause and ask yourself again, how can I show those I love that I love them? You can spend $5,000 telling them you love them, or you don't have to spend a dime. Don't compare your gifts to others, just do what you can and love your people how you know how to love your people. I dearly hope that you have an amazing holiday season this year. You earned it, you totally deserve it, and I will see you guys next time. Ah, dang it, I always forget that. I gotta relax. You're okay, Hannah. Sometimes I get tired. And then I bought 1 can of spray paint and sprayed them. And then I bought 1 can of spray paint, sprayed them. Oh gosh.